Right, so it's come around now so that my son needs a laptop for school. Last year it was my daughter, so we got her a B-Ben laptop, and this time it's a LincPlus P1 laptop for my son. Now I'm just going to, before I go through all the specifications and what I think of this, I'm just going to show you two others. So first of all, this is one that I got about 3 years ago, and it's a Microsoft Surface 3. It's a nice PC. It does the job. The only thing with it is it's only got 2 gig of RAM, so it's not the fastest. It doesn't matter what processor you've got with it. If you haven't got too much RAM, then it can't switch in and out of things fast enough, so everything slows down, especially when you're on the internet. So remove that. Then this is the B-Ben that I got my daughter. Obviously it's a nice rose gold colour for her, but that wouldn't be any good for my son, so we discounted getting another one of those. Hence, that's why we got this. Now, I'm just going to talk you through it. It comes with 4 gig of RAM, and as I say, your RAM is what's used in your immediate processing. So your processor does all the things, but to do them, its memory's got to pick this up, do something, put it down, bring something else forward, etc, etc. And if you've got anything less than 4 gig of RAM in a laptop, you may as well give up. It's not going to be any good. So that's the RAM, 4 gig of RAM. It's then got 32 gig of storage. That will do. It'll store videos, it'll store pictures, music, etc, etc. But it's not the biggest of memories. So what I'm going to do in the very near future is I'm just going to close this down, turn it over and show you something. So there's the LincPlus, and it's a metal case. There's a fair bit of weight to it because it is a workhorse, so it's got a good battery in it. But this here is where the storage is, and you can swap it out. So if I get a screwdriver that I've got somewhere. Right, so here's the screwdriver. Let's move that over. And you take this panel off. And it's just 2 screws. I'm going to upgrade it from a 32 gigabyte storage to about 250. And that will cost me in the region of between 50 and 60 pounds. And basically it goes into, let me just unplug it so that I can show you. So you undo that screw there, and if you can see down there, down in this bit, you've got your memory storage, which is about that big, and it just pushes into the connector there, sits down, put the screw back in which clamps it in, put that back on, and there is your additional storage. So one of the next videos you'll see me upgrading this. As I say, as it stands, it's a good little laptop. It'll be able to do all these, because the majority of his homework is online. But what I want him to be able to do is to be able to store all these pictures and everything in one place. Obviously we'll back it up to the cloud, but rather than using my NAS drive at home to back everything up, I want him to be able to back it up onto this. Right, so as I say, this is it, LincPlus. What sort of ports have we got? Well, if we look on the side here, we've got a USB 3 port, we've got the power port, a HDMI port there. Go on the other side, a second USB 3 port. You've got your headphone connector there if you don't use Bluetooth, because it obviously has got Bluetooth, and you've got a micro SD card slot there. And then if I go around, you can see it from the side. That's it from the side there. Just pop that down a moment. Right, so what's in the box? Well, you get an instruction manual, which just gives the basics. You obviously get a 3-pin plug power cord, which goes into the side as I showed you. So that just pops into there. that's in there. Let's open it up. Now, one of the things that I like about this is it's got a black bezel on it, so it's not glaringly obvious while you're looking at it that there is a thick bezel on it. You've got your camera on it to do your Skyping or anything like that. And when you come to set it up, something that I haven't noticed before, this is the first PC that's actually had it, Cortana talks you through how to set it up. I mean, you can use voice commands with it to set it up, not just the keyboard.
Hey look, that's me, Cortana. Can I have permission to use the info I need to do my best work?
Yes.
Next up, the legal stuff. In short, you'll need to select Accept to use Windows. You can decline, but then, no Windows. Type your email address or phone number, then follow the instructions to sign in. Want to set up a PIN? Now, let's link your phone and PC using a Microsoft app that can work some magic between your devices.
So let's put the pin in. Right. If you're interested in benchmarks, here's one that I did earlier. So that's the crystal disk mark there. That's for the memory speed. Some of the other things, obviously because it's my son's school computer as well, if we have a look, we've put Office onto it. So you've got your PowerPoint, Word, Excel, and they obviously run fine on this. Opens it up, and that's all there. So for an office or school computer, you can't really want more than that. So as you can see, the screen is bright. You've got all your controls that you can access down through the control panel anyway in the settings. You can check all that and change the brightness and everything. But I like a nice bright screen, so that's absolutely perfect. It's not too big, so it's going to be able to fit in his backpack, but it's not too small neither. Obviously, if you compare that to the Surface 3 that I've got, that's quite a bit smaller. We've got a proper QWERTY keyboard. Unlike some of the other laptops that I've had, it's set up in an English style, so you've got your ampersand there and your quotation marks up there, which sometimes they get swapped round on foreign keyboards, but you don't get that on this. And when you're pressing the keys, they're a solid press. You know that you've done it. Nice large pad there, which makes life an awful lot easier also. Obviously we've got wireless, which is 2.4 gigahertz and also 5 gigahertz. So some of the newer routers, like the BT router, that will do either. I think the 2.4 goes for a further distance, but the 5 is a better connection and a faster connection. So you've got both of those anyway, whichever you use. Some basic information on the screen is it's a 1920 by 1080 resolution, which is obviously a full HD resolution screen. It's nice and bright as well. And the battery that comes installed is a 13,000 mAh battery. So basically you're going to get anywhere from 7 to 10 hours of use out of it, depending on what you're using it for, which is pretty much definitely a full school day anyway. Obviously you can take the charger around with you, but this should be able to last you out of the house all day for use. Something else I like about it is you can lift it up without it bouncing off the table. Some of these, when you pick them up, you're trying to open it and it's just going like that. Or with this, you can lift that up, and then there you go. You've got your screen up and running. In fact, probably the only thing you could improve on this for this sort of price is to have a touch screen. But you pay for everything in life, and you'd have to pay a little bit more for that. But that's your choice. Overall, this is a really solid laptop. It's made of metal, so it's a solid construction. It is weighty, but you are going to get that with a metal laptop. The screen, it's a glass screen. On some of the cheaper ones, you get a plastic screen and you see deformation on them, which isn't very nice. So I think the one thing that I am going to do, as I say, is I'm going to upgrade the the memory. I'll put an SSD into that slot that I showed you. And then that's it. We're all done and dusted on that. Really impressed with this. It's a nice laptop for the price. I do like the large mouse pad. This is a definite recommendation from me. Just remember, you need a minimum of 4 gig of RAM. If you can get more, perfect, but definitely a minimum.